Hey, this is Nick Hickman, and you're listening to Hank Jr. on Hank's Corner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. As always, I am your host, Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and, of course, podcasting. And I am very excited about this new artist to me that I'm having on my show. He's not that new, but to me, he is. I must have been living under a rock, but I got to start listening to his music, and I'm instantly a fan. Please welcome to the show, to my corner, Nick Hickman. Nick, how's it going?
Good, buddy. Thank you, man. That was a nice introduction. I need to travel around with you all the time. Let you just do the introduction.
Yeah, well, I'm getting used to trying to do this now. This is about I'm not sure exactly where we are, about 131 episodes in. When I started doing this, I've never done anything about podcasting before, and I hope to say that I've gotten better over all these episodes. So
I'm sure after 131, you can't be. You have to be somewhat better.
hopefully, right? Yeah, because if it would be a shame if I was still the same way I was when I did my first interview. But where are you calling in from tonight, Nick?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville, okay. And as most people know, I'm in a little corner out in the Tampa Bay area. And Nashville, I know that that's not your home, but Tennessee is your home, correct?
Yeah, for the last probably 25 years.
Yeah. So for those who don't necessarily know, I guess it's pronounced Harriman, Tennessee. Is that how you pronounce
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You actually crushed it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about that, because when I looked at it in the map, it's kind of looks like it's north of Chattanooga, which I don't get out that way too much, but I know I made it out to like Gatlinburg and that area and really, really loved it. So how was it in the area that you grew up?
So if you've been to Gatlinburg, you're not far. Harriman's about about an hour and a half actually. Um, Harriman's about 35, 40 minutes from Knoxville.
Okay.
And then Knoxville is probably 30 or 45 minutes from Gatlinburg. So I guess it's about an hour and a half, hour and 15 to get up to Gatlinburg. But that's my heaven. So Harriman's the same. It's just a small town in East Tennessee, Not a lot to do. So Gatlinburg was our heaven too. So that's where we went. Or Knoxville. I think, we hung out in Knoxville quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't really speak too highly of Knoxville right now. Not that the city itself was really bad, but when we were actually out there on the trip to Gatlinburg, somewhere along the way, headed back to home, I had some truck issues, and I actually had to stop in Knoxville because that's the only place that could actually try to fix it. I guess it was well, I won't say the name of the facility because I don't want to badmouth them specifically, but I did run into a little bit of an issue where you had the mechanics that were really trying to take advantage of somebody being out there stranded and trying to upcharge on everything. So I could say that the only experience I've had of Knoxville has not been great, but hopefully I can get back out in that area and change all that.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna face that wherever you go, man. As somebody that lives on the road and travels as much as I do, that's gonna happen. You're gonna break down. You're gonna be in places, and people are gonna take advantage. Because here's the thing: they know they got you. Like if I have to get to a show and I'm broke down, I'm gonna have to pay you what you want because I can't cancel a show. I can't lose money on this repair and not get money paid at the show. And if I don't
Yeah.
play, I don't get paid. So it's like I got to get to the show. So fired up, take all my money.
Yeah, and that's interesting that you say that. I mean, I know that artists are out on the road a lot, and sometimes you never really think about the backstory and everything that it entails for an artist to be traveling to and fro. Because a lot of the times, you're using your own vehicle, your own transportation, and you're responsible for that. It's not like you have a pit crew out there that'll fix it whenever you need.
And I'm probably the most tedious, meticulous person you'll ever meet. So I never leave town. I don't let stuff slide. If a light comes on or something acts wrong, I fix it immediately. We pop a lot of leaf springs. When you pull it, we got a bus and about a 13, 14 foot trailer. So we pop a lot of leaf springs because the roads, you've driven. So the roads are so bad that we hit potholes and we'll snap leaf springs. So they're pretty easy to change. So we'll keep a couple on the bus underneath our bunks. We on the bunk areas we built like some areas on the bottom where we could store stuff. So we usually keep one or two leaf springs there for the trailer just to be safe. But we heavy dutied the bottom. We put a 10,000-pound axle on it just to be safe. So we try. I constantly I keep the tires changed as quickly as possible. I don't let them go bad. The oils change every 3,000 miles. I balance and rotate them every 10,000. Like I'm pretty meticulous about everything I do.
All right.
I mean, I've never missed a show, not one. I mean, okay, I did one because I got stranded in Aruba, but I only missed one show. So I've been playing shows for 7 years, and I've only missed one. And I play like probably 150 to 200 a year. So it's
that's awesome. We better start knocking on wood for that. And I guess if you're going to get stranded, I guess Aruba's a nice place to get stranded.
No, not when we got stranded. They put us in. My wife tested positive for COVID.
Oh,
back, so they put us in the middle of nowhere. It was sketchy and scary, and told us not to leave, not to move. So.
Okay, a part of the area that people don't hear about as tourists. Then,
yeah, the rest of the group is amazing, but if we would have got to stay in our same resort for the 5 days that they held us, then that would have been perfect. The resort was amazing, but where they took us and they picked us up they put us in the back of a van, and pitch black. They waited till night, and then they came and picked us up and took us to this area. It was very, very sketchy.
Well, I'm glad that you made it out okay and are here to talk to me here on Hank's Corner. But let's get into some other lessons learned, so to speak, which is your latest single that you have out. For those who follow me on Fridays, I put out New Music Friday post where I list all the different artists that are coming out with music. And you've actually been on a couple, but the most recent was Lessons Learned. I've noticed that it's gotten a lot of streams already on Spotify. Tell us a little bit about the song.
Well, man, I think it holds true with about anything I do, or at least I hope. That's what I'm going for. But I try to write real stuff about real things, and who can't relate? Well, as long as everybody's got parents, you weren't in this world without parents, but everybody can relate to, how uncool do we think our parents were, or grandparents when they were trying to teach us something when we were younger, or they weren't hip, or they hated us, or they didn't understand. When in all reality, they knew. They'd already walked in the same path that we were walking, So they'd already walked the path, and they're just trying to teach us lessons to help us better ourselves. So, I just tried to write a song that I thought would be meaningful, that I thought would be a little deeper than what you normally hear on the radio.
Yeah, I definitely like that song. And let's go ahead and play Lessons Learned here on Hank's Corner.
How does your mama know exactly what to say when you're down? How does your daddy know to check the oil before you leave town? How do they know when you lie after the perfect alibi? How do they know when something ain't right? 'Cause they've been there, they've done that, walked uphill, there and back, broke some hearts, and had the favor returned. They stretched the truth and they got caught, but in the end it's what taught them. All the wisdom earned comes from them lessons learned. We'd always say that we knew everything about everything. Couldn't tell us nothing about nothing, 'cause ain't a thing we ain't seen. But you learn pretty quick, in the end you don't know it. It takes some falling down to admit. 'Cause they've been there, they've done that, walked uphill, there and back, broke some hearts, and had the favor returned. They stretched the truth and they got caught, but in the end it's what taught them. All the wisdom earned comes from them lessons learned. Thank God young and dumb leads to old hard to teach if you've never been taught, and it's hard to learn a lesson if you've never been caught. They've been there, they've done that, walked uphill, there and back, broke some hearts, and had the favor in turn. They stretched the truth and they got caught, but in the end it's what taught them. All the wisdom earned comes from the lessons learned. I'm thankful now for 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 the lessons learned.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. I'm talking with Nick Hickman, and you just heard his recent song, Lessons Learned. And, I've heard the phrase that, man, my parents, the older I get, the smarter my parents seem. And, this song kind of embodies that theme. I really like it. I mean, you did say that, you kind of went a little deep on it, but it still seems like a fun song.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing too. We tried to make sure that this record had energy. I feel like the last record, had some songs that were fun, but I wanted it to be like something you could dance to and vibe to, So we tried to capture as much as we could. Now we got a couple of ballads on the record. It's coming out next Friday, so literally 9 days, another full 10-song record. So of the final 7, so we've released "Trying to Live," "Friends," and "Lessons Learned." So we got 7 more coming. So there's only 2 ballads. So the rest of them are pretty up tempo, pretty fun, pretty danceable.
Yeah, and so for those that, like I said, that follow me, be sure to check out the new Music Friday post. This podcast probably will be coming out after that, but if you're checking my Friday post, then you'll know the new music and you'll see Nick Hickman there. And we're going to get into talking a little bit about how you got your start and made your way over here. But before we do that, I want to play a game. It's a new segment that I have here on my show called Two Truths and a Lie, where I'm hoping you give me 3 statements. 2 of them being true, 1 of them being a lie, in any order that you want. And at the end of the show, I'm going to have to try to guess which ones are the truth and which ones are the lie. Now, I just went, I think it was 4 for 4, and I finally got stumped on my last episode. So, I may be in a little bit of a slump. So, but if you want to play the game, let's do 2 truths and a lie.
I didn't have time to think. All right, I want to make it something that I don't know if you know if it's obvious or not. Let's see. Okay. I am an avid Lego builder. I am a good golfer. I'm actually left-handed.
All right. So I have to decide on whether or not you are an avid Lego builder, a good golfer, not just a golfer, because I can tell you I could possibly golf, but I'm definitely not good at it. And you're also left-handed. So hopefully by the end of the show, I can maybe pick up some clues along the way. And those that are watching the podcast, play along, and we'll see what we can get at the end. But Nick, tell us a little bit, how you got your start, who were your influences, and how did you decide, hey, music might be for me, and up to the point where you are today?
Man, deep question. Well, I started in college. That's the one story that is the easiest to tell. Me and some of the other athletes on campus were going to this Thursday night impact meeting at First United Methodist Church, and I was dabbling in music in high school, choir and stuff. I thought I'd play sports. Obviously, I wasn't good enough, but as a kid, you think those things. But I wound up just playing a couple songs of guitar, maybe even trying to impress girls. And then one thing led to another. They're like, "Hey, do you want to lead worship?" I was like, "All right." So I started doing worship, Christian music, and then me and some of the guys that I was playing with and hanging out with decided, let's do a band and let's make a record. So, I started doing Christian music. One thing led to another. That didn't work out, and decided, you hit that point in your life where, and I feel like I'm the one guy that tried everything. Like even my wife will tell you, she's like, you're a different guy every year. So I feel like it was about a year journey after the whole Christian thing fizzled out, and it was a bad situation. But trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I made a pop record, and I thought, do I want to do the pop rock thing again? Because it's kind of what we were doing there. But at some point you realize this is what I'm supposed to do. So for the past 8 years, country music's been what I'm doing. So it
All
makes
right. And even though that you made the switch over to the country music, judging by that bass that you're talking about within the the Christianity side of it, does your Christian side of you influence the way you handle yourself out there in the music world still, though?
I mean, I hope. I mean, the thing I love the most about country is I can still have my faith in the music as much as I want when I want. But as far as like out in the world, I'm still a dumbass. I mean, sorry, I'm still a dummy. I still do stupid things. Trying to get better every day, but I can't sit here and say that I'm out preaching the gospel and being a role model for people. But I try to be as kind as I can and as good as I can, and do the things that I think are right. But I'm not going to sit here and toot my horn and say, yeah, I'm the epitome of Christianity. I'm not. But
Well, it's nice to be honest, and that's refreshing to hear. And I always like to give the artist a chance to to talk about that as a platform here on Hank's Corner, because sometimes whether or not you're necessarily the model that you need to be, in general, it's just hard to kind of bring the two different influences from the worldly countryside, which a lot of times country does have a lot of influence in gospel type of music, but then also the opposite side of that is playing some of that gospel music, and it's very difficult to kind of merge the two together. The only one that I've known so far, in all my interviews that I've done, is Aaron Tanner. Don't know if you're familiar with him, but man, this guy, this is how he brands his music. It's honky tonk music with a Christian theme behind it, and it's very unique that he does that. But I know in general, I always love to give the artist an opportunity to talk about their Christian faith, because like I said, here on this platform we do like to promote it.
and you know what? And I didn't know that, but that makes me respect this a lot more, because the truth of the matter is, dude, that's the problem, right? At the end of the day, we want to cast all the stones, knowing good and daggum well where none of us are in a position to cast a stone. And without us being the crappy people that we are and the screw ups that we are, we would need grace. What's the point of God, and Jesus and salvation, if we're all perfect people, if we're all over here walking these perfect lines and being exactly who we pitch to people. I don't ever pitch to people that I'm the epitome of anything other than stupidity. I will say that, because I do dumb things. I do. And every day I learn lessons, and I'm thankful that I'm older and getting wiser. But every day I learn a new lesson that could affect my career. That could affect my life. That could affect anything, because sometimes you get in the heat of the moment, or you've had a few drinks, and it's just, don't look at me as the model for anything. I'm just a guy that's trying to get better every freaking day. I mind my own business. I ain't casting stones on anybody. I don't care what you do, that
And
it's your
so,
life.
yeah, and sometimes those that express themselves like you do oftentimes have a better response from other people that hear that, because they do see that you're a quote unquote normal regular person, and sometimes that's easier to hear the gospel because of that. So I appreciate you taking the time here to talk about the faith. And we all have lessons to learn, and like you said, if it wasn't for grace, then or as you said, if it wasn't for us messing up, we wouldn't need the grace. So I do want to go to your to the next song that I like, "Trying to Live." We're gonna play that, and when we come back, I want to hear a little bit about that and your songwriting stuff.
Okay.
Death is coming for us all, whether we like it or not. So I suggest we make the most out of the time we got. Laugh a little more, stress a little less. Made the plan, took the trip, drank the wine. I wanna live like I might not trying to make up. I wanna see the world, chase the stars to where the sun begins. While everybody's waiting to die, I'm over here trying to live. One day it'll all just be words written in a eulogy. But until then, I'ma give them all something worth writing. Care a little less about what people thought, and care a little more about those dreams getting caught. I wanna live like I might not wake up. I wanna make love like we're trying to make up. I wanna see the world, chase the stars to where the sun begins. While everybody's waiting to die, I'm over here trying to live. Everybody's waiting on tomorrow, like it's a promised thing. There's no better time than right here, right now, to start making memories. I wanna live like I might not wake up. I wanna make love like we're trying to make up. I wanna live like I might not wake up. I wanna make love like we're trying to make up. I wanna see the world, chase the stars to where the sun begins. While everybody's waiting to die, I'm over here trying to live like I might not wake up. I wanna make love like we're trying to make up. I wanna see the world, chase the stars to where the sun begins. While everybody's waiting to die, I'm over here trying to live.
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. Of course, I'm Hank Jr., your host here, talking with Nick Hickman, and you just heard a song, Trying to Live. Now, I've read a couple of interviews that you did, and I find it interesting your take on songwriting, because your songwriting is more about you kind of diving in deep sometimes into what you've experienced, what you've learned. It's not necessarily just like co-writes and you say, hey, let's do a theme and let's try to make a song based on this theme. So tell me, one, how do you go about the songwriting, and how hard is it for you to actually, or maybe it's not hard, talk about some of the personal things in your life?
Nowadays, it's not hard to talk about the personal things as much as it used to be. Because I fell into the trap when I first got to Nashville. I thought, I need to sound like this, I need to do this, and I need to look like this. So I'm out there wearing chains and bracelets and looking like a turd sandwich, uh, and trying to make music. Like, if you can't hear my first EP and think, oh, that he was trying to be Florida Georgia Line, I was big fan. So I was just chasing something, and then I think a couple years ago, I think COVID really helped. Because we were restricted, and we built this studio, and it gave me an outlet to be creative on my own and to really start doing things my way. Because in Nashville, the first thing you do, everybody does it. They come to town and everybody says, write songs, write with everybody, write as much as you can, just get it out there. You need to write 1,000 to get 2 good ones. So everybody just writes. And then what do you need after that, right? You got to get the music out there. So now you're looking for a producer, right? So now you go to a producer, and they've got an ear for what they do. Producers specialize in things, and some are good with all aspects, but nonetheless, most of them have their way of doing things. I know this, and this. And I fell into that. First few records I made was people telling me, hey, I would do this, I would try this, So I really dove into COVID once we built the studio, like, hey, I want to do this my way. I don't want outside influences. If a song comes out sounding 80s, it comes out sounding 80s. If it comes out sounding honky tonk, it comes out sounding honky tonk. Whatever the song calls for, me and Jeff decided that's how we're going to let it be. So once we did that, we're like, you know what? Let's don't write every day. I can't do that. It's gonna kill me. Let's just try to write 20 songs a year, the best songs we can do, and craft them to where they're the best that we can make them. Because I'm not the best songwriter in the world. I know that. I get it. but I craft them the best that I possibly can. So what me and Jeff do is twice a year, we go to Gatlinburg for 3 days, and we stay in the mountains because that's where I feel peace and serenity is being in the mountains, away and disconnected, and just in the woods and with nature and the bears, and I just feel creative. So we have a little creek that runs through where we stay. It's just nice to smoke a cigar, sit back there, drink some whiskey. And we decided, okay, we're going to go there, and whatever we want to do, there is no such thing as no on these trips. If we want to drink, we drink. If we want to smoke, we smoke. If we want to go watch a show, we go watch a show. If we want to eat, we go eat. Whatever it is, we don't say no because we found that we're open-minded. Because restriction is the killer of songwriting. It is, because you'll get in your head. You're like, oh God, is this not good enough? So we just go up there and we write as much as we can. And we'll come up with, last time we went in March and we wrote 4 songs. And I've written 4 so far. So we write together, and then I write on my own throughout the year. And then usually we'll have 15 to 20 songs by the end of the year. We'll choose the best one, the 10 best, and make a record. And then the rest of them we just either save or pitch or whatever. But that's not the end of it, though. Once we have the songs we want, then I go in and rewrite and recraft. And I'll re-record it and listen to the scratch vocals and think, does this make sense? Is the listener going to get what I'm trying to say here? Are they going to see that I'm trying to be clever? Are they going to understand what's going on here? Is this conversational? My biggest thing is, am I saying something that's cliche? Am I saying something about whatever it may be that's been said 25,000 times? All right. So then after that's done, then we'll go into the final stage of production. Right before I do vocals, we'll sit down together and make sure 100% that these rewrites are where we want them to be. That's what we've done the last 2 records, because we didn't do that the first record. We kind of just did our best and learned. So now that's where we're at. I'm like, I'm not going to put out a song about drinking. You might catch 1 or 2. I do love whiskey, so I have to put it in there because it's true to me. And I love beer. But I'm not going to write songs. Every one of my songs is not going to be about a girl that I'm trying to get back. I'm at a bar. I'm heartbroken. I'm under a neon light. I'm drinking. Insert your alcohol of choice. I miss this girl. Insert her features here. And I put it over a 2.5, 3-minute song that's catchy with whatever. I don't want to do that. I didn't find any fulfillment in that when I got here. I'm finding tons of fulfillment in this. Even if I never make it, I'm happy that I'm doing music that I feel like matters, messages,
Yeah, and that's important because you definitely don't want to get burned out doing it because it is, music or, something like this, some people can say, hey, it's a hobby all the way up to, hey, it pays the bills. But the essence of it, you still want to enjoy doing it because, it is such a gift that you don't want to ever become disgruntled, that gift doesn't mean anything to you. And so whatever formula that you're using now, I got to say is working. So, keep it up. But as far as, uh, the themes of your song, some of them obviously are a little bit more serious, and then you got some fun ones, like Friends. I got to watch that video and the song itself. They're both fun. Tell us a little bit about that and how fun was it to shoot that video?
It was awesome. So the video first, that's all of our friends. The guy that we put in a wig is our drummer. He's been with me for a little over 2 years. Jeff's been with me for over 7 years. And then the other guy in the video is another singer in town that's a friend of ours. And then the girls, the girl that played the opposite of the guy, Dylan, that's his girlfriend. Then the girl bartender was our video guy's girlfriend. So it's all like our circle of people. So that kind of makes it fun because that seems like a normal night for us. Like normally we just get together, have drinks, smoke cigars, and laugh and play music and just do something in the studio. So that was cool. Writing it was hilarious. So I told you how we write. I've already prefaced that. So now I can tell you how that song came about. And I remember it vividly. So me and Jeff had been writing. We'd already got 2 ideas done. And this was last year. So we'd already got 2 ideas done. And we're like, well, man, we're a little overwhelmed. Let's don't force anything. We got a verse and a chorus on a song. We're like, let's just stop. Let's go do some tastings. So we went to Old Smoky first and did the tasting and bought a bottle. So then we're like, oh, let's go to Sugarlands. Why not? Let's get a little buzz. So we went to Sugarlands and did a tasting and started drinking on some of the bottle. Well, we're pretty cocked at that point. So we're like, you know what? a buddy of ours was playing at Aldean's. We're like, let's go watch him. Let's just go watch him and have fun, have another beer. So as we're walking, Jeff looked at me and goes, dude, you're the biggest liability I've ever met. I was like, well, if friends didn't let friends do this, I wouldn't be a liability. And he was like, we got to go write that. So, and then we were walking on the road and I was like, friends, don't let friends. He was like, yep, that's it. So we went straight to the room and wrote it right then. And it came out quick. It came out spontaneously because some of our songs don't happen like that. That just happened to be us conversationally talking because I've gotten a lot better. You know, we grow up, we get older, but, you know, when I got to town, I didn't know. Nobody knows how to be an artist. I didn't know how to be an artist. I still don't know, I don't think. You know, I'm learning. I don't know how to be a human. I don't know how to be a husband. I don't know how to be a boyfriend. I don't know how to be a brother, a son. Like, you know, I didn't have a normal parental life growing up, you know. Both of my parents are passed away now. So it's like, I'm learning how to do everything, man. Like, and I'm just a normal guy that don't have it figured out. So I've learned now since how not to get drunk and almost arrested or drunk and do stupid stuff. You know, I'm learning how to be a man and I'm thankful for that. But, you know, it led to that song and that song is real and it's fun because it kind of infuses. The coolest thing to me is, and that's what I love, man. That is what I love. We wrote a song that's country. It's funny, but it's also got elements of like old school Good Charlotte and Blink 182 with that, you know, so we were able to infuse things that we weren't trying to do. That just came out in the studio and me and Jeff were just up here working, you know, because we do everything ourselves. After we write it, we come up here and we record in our studio. So it just came about. And that's the cool thing, man. Like Bridges to Burn and Trying to Live, they all have different vibes. Like none of my music, if you ask people, who does he sound like? I don't really sound like anybody because we've created our own thing. Yep. And that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do, man. I want it to be, that's Nick. Oh, I know that. That's Nick. Because you know my voice. It's very distinct. I get it. But I want the music to be distinct too. I want people to be like, oh, yeah, that's a Nick song.
All right. I like that way of thinking. And let's go ahead and play Friends here on Hank's Corner.
Saturday worked all weekend, I wanna go out. I logged into my banking app, ain't nothing in my account. How do I work all the time, but yeah, I'm still behind. Probably cause I do this every week, despite my buddies' reasoning. And friends, don't let friends go out when they ain't got no money. And friends, don't let friends get drunk and run up a tab like a dummy. Good friends won't let you get to the point of no return, but my friends do. Right about the time that first drink turns into 4, my buddies see me stumbling my way to that exit door. They'll probably make fun of me cause I'm seeing 10 but she's probably a 3. But they know when I've had a few, ain't too much that they can do. Cause friends, don't let friends go home with a last call warning. And friends, don't let friends wake up with a regret in the morning. Good friends won't let you get to the point of no return, but my friends do. My friends never miss a chance to laugh at me at my drunk expense, but they know I'd do the same. It ain't a damn thing that we would change. Cause friends should let friends go out when they ain't got no money. And friends should let friends get drunk and run up a tab like a dummy. Good friends should let you get to the point like mine.
And friends like that, who needs enemies, right? That's Nick Hickman with his song "Friends." Here on Hank's Corner, I'm Hank Jr. And you know, not only is that song fun, but you in general seem like a fun guy. And I had happened to see on your social media, your desperate ploy to get likes and follows on your social media by washing windows. Tell me, how did you come up with that, and how successful were you?
Well, I'm gonna tell you two things. One, I don't know. I just thought that this would be funny, and I'm gonna do it. So I did it, And I thought, I every time I do something I think is clever, because I tried a thing where I would play naked on the toilet with my guitar, and I called it tunes from the can. Nobody caught on to that. I thought it was funny and clever. Nobody caught on. I thought that was funny and clever. I don't get any views, dude. I don't get any. Nobody likes me. It seems, man. I'll post a video that if anybody else posts it, it's viral. But I post it and it's nothing. So maybe I'm just not attractive enough. Maybe I'm just not talented. I don't know what it is, but dude, I ain't I ain't seen these videos just get millions of views.
Yeah, I feel you on that social media aspect right there for sure. But yeah, so
You know what? Here's the thing, and I hope anybody that's listening to this or any artists that are listening to this know this. Let me tell you something, man. You can still make a real good living without having viral numbers. It's all about ticket sales. I've been touring for 7 years, and I slowly watch my fan base grow. I'll go to a city 2 times a year, and a couple years in, you'll see a couple hundred people buying tickets. There's tons of instances I can tell you where I'd go and sell 15, 20 tickets the first show, and now I'm out selling 250, 300, 400 tickets. It's all about meeting people, man. It's all about people finding out who you are and listening to the music. And not, so I don't necessarily worry about the gimmicks anymore. I try them just because why not? I'd be stupid to not try them. But just let me tell you, man, you can still have a career and a good living and do it and have fun without gimmicks. Do them if you can. If they'll move the needle, great. But grind, work, play your
yeah,
shows, perfect your craft, get better at it. And I
yeah,
promise you,
there's definitely a fine balance between the two, because obviously, I mean, unless you're going for that, you don't want to be known as just, a crack up or a viral video. You want your music to speak for itself too. So definitely a fine line to do that. One of the questions that I always like to ask artists, because, obviously we see the music side of you. And when it comes to music, like we talked about, you're writing songs, or you're going through all the different things, and you're practicing, you're touring, everything's kind of music related. But when you're not doing music, what is Nick Hickman doing for fun? Is he out in the outdoors? Is he an indoor guy? Does he binge watch TV? What are you doing for fun?
I'm not answering that question. Sneaky.
Okay.
Sneaky.
that was not a sneaky one. That's one that I asked everybody. But
Well, you're going to get the answer when you answer.
so we will skip that one, and we'll move to my favorite question of all time, though, that I always have to bring up, is food on my podcast. So, tell me about what is some of your favorite food, and should I go to your neck of the woods, what should I be looking for?
If you're in Nashville, go to Edley's or Prince's. Those are two of my favorites. 60 Vines is great. Darfon's has the best seared ahi tuna you'll ever have in your entire life. 60 Vines has a great steak. Their pizza's good. I love pizza too, so pizza's one of my favorite food. We got a bunch of taco options. I'm going to tell you an underrated taco place. Go to Miranda's. Miranda's bar has some of the best Mexican in Nashville, and I've ate a lot. I'm fat.
Wow.
I'm
I
pretty dialed in now, but before this last 6 months, I've tried a lot of food in Nashville, and there's so much good. But I love steak. I love pizza. I love sushi. I love Mexican. Dude, I love everything.
Yeah, I like everything on that list too, except for sushi. Now, I'm one to try everything at least once, and that is all I've tried. Sushi was once, and that was about, like, I don't know, 30 years ago. Haven't tried it since, and everybody keeps telling me, well, you probably just didn't have it done right. But I won't give that one a second chance, though.
Well, what you do. I always tell people when they're going into sushi, get something like fried shrimp, get something tuna, something that's like cooked, not raw. It's a little bit easier to ease into when you're eating it. Like it's just rice and a couple of veggies with deep fried shrimp or something. So there are things you can get that aren't like raw fish because I get what people like the texture or the taste, whatever. But
Yeah, not me. But as you pointed out, we're getting to that time where I need to figure out the two truths and a lie. And I promise I did not try to sneak one in there, but now I have to kind of figure out
well, I
are
kind of answered half that question by not answering it, so I kind of screwed myself.
not necessarily because there's two ways that could go. So I have to determine whether or not you are an avid Lego builder, a good golfer, or you're left-handed. Which two of those are going to be true? So, I don't have like the Swami hat on or anything like that, but this one is a little bit really a tougher one because I did not get really any clues from the podcast. But I am going to say that you are left-handed and that you like to build Legos, but you're not a good golfer.
You're close.
Oh,
I'm not left-handed.
okay.
I
So,
shoot low to mid 80s pretty consistently. If I'm playing frequently, I can get well. Don't let me lie. I've been in the upper 70s twice, but that's when I've been playing. Like during COVID, me and my wife were playing 36 holes a day because it was free. So if I'm playing 4 or 5 times a week, multiple rounds, and I've got because golf is all about knowing your shot, knowing your distances and your force. And if you're not doing it consistently, you're not going to be as good. And I know how to save strokes, so I can still shoot mid 80s. You know, worst case scenario, I might shoot an 88, 90. But I know myself enough, and I've played enough rounds to where I can save strokes. I don't try to be a hero. I'll lay up. If I know my game's not there, if I know my pitching wedge isn't on, or if I'm not putting well, or if my drive's not there, I can compensate in other areas and keep my score low. So I'm going to shoot in the mid 80s pretty consistently, even if I've not played. But if I played a lot, I can get 70s. And Legos, that's my thing, man. I'm literally as soon as we're done with this podcast, I'm going to finish my grand piano Lego.
oh, that's awesome. I'd love to see that one that's finished. And do you ever watch the Lego Master Show?
Oh yeah, yes.
So I know offline we talked a little bit. You have a connection to Florida, a little south here of Tampa, and I don't know if you know or if you remember from the first season, but the couple that won it was from Bradenton, which is just a little south here of Tampa, and that's how I remembered it, just because they were so close. And I've watched every season since, and I'm just like, well, it might be nice to do that, but I really don't have the talent to do what they do.
I don't either. Those people are really talented. Those people are building like monuments on their own. I'm following a booklet while drinking a glass of whiskey that's telling me exactly what to do. Open this bag, build this. So
Well, that seems a little bit more fun to be, sipping on whiskey and doing it that way than the pressure they're under to do with it within 12 hours or something to come out really good. But you're
and
really
I do. I throw on jazz music. First thing I do, jazz music, light a few candles, pour a glass of whiskey, and I build my Lego. And it's the
I,
most peaceful. Mm.
I like that. Sounds the way to go. But you say you may not be good at Legos, but you're definitely good at music. And, I'm liking what I hear. I have not seen you in person yet, but, should somebody come to a Nick Hickman performance, what should they expect?
Mm. We get a lot of energy. I think we're pretty fun. You know, I think that we might make you laugh too. I don't know.
I
Here's
could, I could pretty much guarantee you're going to make us laugh at some point.
I think so, but here's the thing. I'm not gonna sit here and toot my horn. We're good. That's all I'll say. Come see the show. You won't hate it.
Nice and simple. He's good. Come see the show. You could find him out as this podcast is being released. He's going to be doing a bunch of shows there in South Carolina. If you want to find out more about him, he is the Nickman, or I'm sorry, let me replace it. It's hard to say. The Nick Hickman.
Yeah.
.com, kind of like the Ohio State, that sort of thing. You got to get that the in there.
I had to add it because somebody already had when I was starting music about 10 years ago, when I was doing the pop thing, the first record I did, some guy had nickhickman.com and it was a snowboarding like website type. No, it was not even put together, just had a homepage and an about. There was nothing on the about page, and the first page was just a snowboarder. So I reached out and I was like, hey man, can I pay you some money and get this nickhickman.com domain? And no. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll be the Nick Hickman. I
the
So
Nick
I
Hickman.
wasn't being pretentious when I did it. I just couldn't get Nick Hickman, which I thought there's no way somebody else is named Nick Hickman. That's such a redneck name. But here we are.
Yeah, well, you're the one, so it's most important. So be sure to follow Nick on social media. Please don't make him have to go out there and wash any more windows. Like I said, you can follow him on all social medias and maybe see him out there in South Carolina. And I know you're going around the rest of the country as well here and there. So be on the lookout for him. But Nick, it was definitely a pleasure to have you here on my corner. If you ever want to be a guest on Hank's Corner, you're more than welcome to.
All right, what are you doing next week?
I love that. That's the best answer I've gotten yet on that.
Come out next time we're here. Let's have some drinks on break. I love you. I am damn thankful. This is called Bridges to Burn.
I've been striking matches and I'm watching that flame cleanse all my past with a smile on my face. If it ain't moving you forward, it belongs in your past. You gotta cut ties with what's been holding you back. They say it's a lonely road that you're traveling down. What will you do when there's no one left around? I'm gonna sleep just fine, knowing there's no knife in my back. Got rid of that with everyone I ignite. Sometimes you gotta let it go if it ain't good for your soul. One thing I continue to learn: it's okay if you've got some bridges to burn. Are you tired of the fake, fed up with the lies? Only keep them around to have someone by your side. Afraid of being lonely, and I get that, but you gotta quit burning time that you'll never get back. I swear you sleep just fine, knowing there's no knife in your back. Get rid of that with everyone you ignite. Sometimes you gotta let it go if it ain't good for your soul. One thing you will continue to learn: it's okay if you got some bridges to burn. Ashes to ashes, you'll rise from the ground. So light those matches, let them all burn down. Ashes to ashes, you'll rise from the ground. So light those matches, let them all burn down. I swear you sleep just fine, knowing there's no knife in your back. Get rid of that with everyone you ignite. Sometimes you gotta let it go if it ain't good for your soul. One thing you will continue to learn: it's okay if you got some bridges to burn. I know I keep finding bridges to burn. I know you keep finding bridges to burn. Yeah, we've still got some bridges to burn.